of equipment. He has a sort of War and Peace, sort of Body and Mind, sort of Feast and Famine, and a pair of Batter Skulls.
Yeah, well, this is pretty awesome. So the Inquisition sees Batter Skull, Blade Splicer. What is that one? Is that Suture Priest? Is that what that one is?
No, I think...
I don't know if that was Suture Priest, but... it was... So, Soul's Attendant gets in there.
Let's see. He's going to go ahead and stick
what is
Johnny's Pride Mate.
Okay, that's what that was.
Yeah. So that becomes a 3/3.
Right, immediately, just because of the Soul's Attendant.
It comes in, and the Soul's Attendant triggers.
Right,
so
which gains life, which then triggers the Pride Mate. Pride Mate, yeah, not Pride Mage, right? Pride Mate. Yeah. So Tumble Magnet from Javier. That's a card we haven't seen too much recently. I mean, people loved it in Clawblade before, but hadn't seen it.
That card's pretty good against this Pride Mate here.
So he decides he's fine with taking some damage there. What is that? That's what I saw and didn't know what it was. Is that the Suture Priest? Okay, I was right then.
Now, I'm interested in the fact that he chose to cast the Suture Priest post-combat.
Yeah, why not make the Pride Mate bigger? Then again, maybe he figured he would just get it tapped down. I don't know. So, Javier's side of the board, just Tumble Magnet, 2 Swamps, Plains, and is that an Inkmoth Nexus, I believe? Yeah. And Kenny's side of the board, Suture Priest, Soul's Attendant, Johnny's Pride Mate, and 3 Plains. Javier adds a sort of Body and Mind to the board. Hard cast. Tumble Magnet this time decides to tap down that Pride Mate. And
Pride Mate's big enough now where
right.
It seems like a worthwhile target.
But Kenny gets in for 2 with the other guys. And passes back. Now it's funny, Jerry, I think, mentioned in a recent article, maybe it was pre-bannings, that he was considering cutting blue from his Clawblade deck and just going black-white with it. And so it's really interesting to see somebody actually doing that and having success with it.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing really well, so...
people were saying the counter spells weren't that relevant anymore. Pretty much the only reason to run blue was Jace, and Jace wasn't even as important in the deck as it used to be. But Javier is here, out to prove it.
Yeah, he doesn't even have Squadron Hawks.
Yeah.
It's
nuts. He's got Mystic, of course, Mirren Crusader, Spellskite, Emiria Angel, Phyrexian Metamorph, and Hero of Bladehold as his creature suite. So
it's pretty good to me.
Yeah, it's really... I think it's just really interesting, I think. So, alright, so Inkmoth activates, picks up a sword, and swings in for 3. Javier gets a wolf. Maybe. Is that a...
Wow!
Yikes, he just
double lean in Relic Order off the top.
Milled away a ton of business from Kenny.
Yeah.
And
it's the exact cards Kenny wanted to say too.
It helps Kenny out a little bit, I think, with that adding that wolf to the board.
That wolf is going to drain Javier for 1, and the problem is it creates a blocker for those 2 1/1s that
so
Kenny had in play.
Better to get the wolf than not have it.
He's going to go ahead and hard cast a Batter Skull.
Yeah, Kenny hard cast Batter Skull, and a little bit more life.
Pride Mate becomes Gigundus.
This is pretty... So, yeah, Pride Mate gets tapped down, and Kenny passes turn back to Javier. Now, we were just saying earlier about how important that Inkmoth Nexus is when there's Batter Skull gaining a ton of life. Mm-hmm. Well, in this case, it's not just Batter Skull gaining Kenny a ton of life. It's his entire deck is built around that. And Javier having that Inkmoth Nexus, very relevant. Now he's putting Kenny up to 6 poison, milling him now again for another 10. And let's see. It is a lot of business. I'm not seeing a lot of lands getting milled there, which, is actually probably not what Kenny wants. He's probably fine with 5 lands and does not need to draw anymore.
So, Kenny really just has 2 more turns to draw an answer to this, or he's just done.
Yeah.
Thing is, he's continually getting chump blockers too with these wolves.
Yeah, essentially what it seems like is that the Suture Priest is just pinging him for 1 or draining him for 1, and that's about as much as Kenny's able to do. But this turn, at least now he has that huge Pride Mate and the Batterskull. The chump blockers, though, will make the Batterskull pretty irrelevant. Yeah, he's just chump block both, so.
Yeah.
Javier keeps that Tumble Magnet with its last counter around. Now, does he have any way to proliferate? I don't think he does, but, just checking. No, it doesn't look yeah, it doesn't look like it.
Your opponents are waiting for you. Two-headed giant team Raw and Lock. Your opponents are waiting for you.
Right now, that Ameri Angel can block the Inkmoth Nexus. Javier has the Tumble Magnet in play, so he can tap it if he needs to, but...
So here he goes. Activate Inkmoth Nexus, pick up a sword, and it looks like he has a go for the throat for that Miria Angel. In for another 3 poison. Kenny at a precarious 1 remaining poison.
Javier's going to drop to 9 here. And he's going to go up to 33, get an extra counter on that Pride Mate.
Yeah, let me see what you got, or let me see what I got. So taking a look through his graveyard here. This is also pretty cool because Javier gets to take a peek at his main deck.
Yeah, he gets to look through everything.
Yeah.
Find out what he needs. He's going to be sideboarding well.
Yeah. So Kenny starts off his turn, and now Javier only has 1 chump blocker, and he can tap down something with the Tumble Magnet. So it looks like he should be pretty safe here. Tap the Pride Mate, chump the Batterskull, but if Kenny has a removal spell, that could put... Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't... I mean, he needs something more than a removal spell. Now, yeah, pack it in. Does he play any kind of removal spells? I'm looking. I mean, he has Divine Offering. That would have not done. He could have taken care of that sword, but that wasn't going to do anything for him.
Yeah, that spot's too much. Yeah, he really just needed to draw like a Relic Order earlier, or he could have saved the Ameri Angel for when he had a land to play on the same turn.
Yeah, just to have 2 chump blockers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like he was trying to stop the bleeding too early in a way, like by playing that turn. Then again, he may not have had the land anyway, so may not have ever seen it. So looking at the sideboard,
and on that last turn, depending on what he had in his hand, he might have been within like 2 points of killing Javier.
Right. Just not couldn't get there and couldn't play it out, or had no reason to play it out. So Javier has Gideon Jura and a Day of Judgment in the sideboard. Also a Sun Titan, which seems pretty good. Doomblade also good against those humongous Pride Mates. Divine Offering.
He'll probably be bringing in his Gideon, his Doomblades, and his Day of Judgment.
Yeah, that's what...
Maybe Despise. I don't know if he bring in Divine Offering.
No. I mean, he did get this... I mean, he saw the Batterskull in play. He may have seen the other equipment. He probably saw Stoneforge Mystic at least. So... he may decide to bring in those Divine Offerings, or at least maybe just 1 or 2, depending on the space he has. I wonder, maybe cut the Spellskite. They don't seem like that impressive.
Yeah, Spellskites are just awful here.
Yeah.
So if you're Kenny, you probably bring in a pair of Dismembers, your Divine Offerings,
Yeah.
and I think that's it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe Condemn, but I don't even know if that's... It would have been helpful for him to take care of that that Inkmoth Nexus.
That Inkmoth, yeah.
There's a good chance that that Inkmoth picks up a Sword of War in Peace, and those Condemns and Kenny's pretty much entire deck besides the Dismembers in his sideboard are dead.
Yeah, Sword of War and Peace is really, really strong against Kenny's deck. Kenny's deck is pretty weak to Day of Judgment. Luckily for him, though, Javier only has one copy. Because we have to remember, Javier's deck is not Caw-Blade.
Right.
It's a white-black deck that plays a lot of guys. So
I keep staring at that Sun Titan in Javier's deck. I mean, it may be too... maybe I'm living the dream here, but it seems like it's like I just wonder if that Sun Titan's good, especially in a situation where he's like, I know I want Sword of War and Peace. Sun Titan also seems pretty good, just to put more dudes on the board, that may have already hit the yard. But being able to bring back the Sword of War and Peace, if Kenny actually can deal with it, seems just like a bonus. I don't know. I mean, I guess it really all depends on the amount of room that he has.
okay, now both these players are at X1. Kenny's only loss was to a Venge Firestorm or Rich Mistake
Okay.
chase deck. Not sure what Javier's lost to. It's a pretty interesting matchup to have in this stage of the tournament, this deep.
Yeah, really, two decks that really we haven't seen much of. I mean, this is not Caw-Blade. This is, like you said, it's blue-black. I mean, it's white-black. And I'm pretty excited, actually, to see that.
Now, here's something really interesting in Kenny's deck, too. Have you seen the Apostle's Blessing?
Yeah.
Yes.
You were talking about that earlier.
Yeah. I think Edgar had Apostle's Blessing in his Caw-Blade deck this weekend.
Javier apparently just said, I want to keep this hand so bad, but instead he goes to 6. But yeah, so what were you saying? You were talking about Apostle's Blessing earlier. Edgar using it or suggesting it, or was he kind of? I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously, I guess if he's using it, he probably thinks it's good enough to suggest. But,
Yeah.
Or I guess what I should have said is he using it or just discussing it, mulling it over, kind of thing. But
do as I say, not as I do. No,
yeah.
I'm kidding.
Kenny's opener was Kenny, who also mulliganed apparently, was 6 planes and 1 do nothing. So it's like both players went to 6, I suppose. And Kenny leads with a turn 1. Is that Sarah's Ascendant? There's Soul's Attendant and Sarah's Ascendant, and I always get their names mixed up. But yeah, Javier
it's
has
confusing.
It is. They're just rhyming and being in the same deck. But yeah, Javier uses
Why do they do
Terrible
that to us?
Expanse. I know, what in the world? Also, Blinking Spirit doesn't fly, does it? What the heck? Anyway. Javier gets a planes, and now has a swamp, so both colors of mana and a turn 2 Stoneforge Mystic. So Kenny gaining some life off of that. Kenny did not play a land turn 2. But he may have one, yeah. That's interesting. Just trying to trick Javier off of the thinking he's mana screwed. I mean, thinking he's land blight.
No, maybe he has like a gain life land in hand.
Yeah, okay.
And he wants to
use it when
chain
it's
it somehow?
more relevant. Yeah, when he has like a Pride Mate or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. They're both X11, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I don't know whose that is. Could you hand me another water? I don't think that one's mine.
All right.
Thank
So
you, sir.
again, Kenny passes the turn. I'm Kenny must not have a land. There's no way he has a land and just didn't play it. We got that information, but
yeah, I don't know what. Maybe he just has. I don't know. That's really weird. Would love to find out what's in Kenny's hand now. So he's just continuously passing the turn, and Javier vials in a Batterskull.
Now, Apostle's Blessing also kills that germ on Batterskull. You give it pro artifacts?
Yeah. You can choose artifact for Apostle's Blessing? What card is that? That full art card?
Yep.
Oh, so you can choose artifacts. Okay,
you can choose artifacts, yeah.
What card is that full art one? I don't recognize it.
Oh, I don't recognize that either.
Oh, it's
Brave
the
the Elements. Okay.
Okay. So, the germ picks up a sword. Yikes. This is looking rough for Kenny.
An Apostle's Blessing would be pretty good right there.
Yeah. Instead, he chump blocks. That would be really good right there. Okay, that's what it was. It was a dismember from Javier was blocked by Brave the Elements.
Okay.
That's what we missed. So, another dismember. And there's Apostle's Blessing. Now, interesting. I wonder if he didn't realize he... Oh, it's creatures you control.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was. Okay.
That makes a lot more sense. Okay.
Somebody told me that recently. I was talking about something, and we were talking about Apostle's Blessing being good against in Splinter Twin. You know, you play it on somebody's Deceiver Exarch and give it pro red, right? Would be really good, except it's creatures you control. So yeah, that's
Vines
the
of the Vastwood can do that.
Yeah, there you go.
I watched that Infect deck do that to a Splinter Twin.
Vines of the Vastwood.
A Splinter Twin to a green open Vines.
Right.
Ooh.
Yeah, your guy has Shroud. How about that? So that Mystic picks up the Sword of Feast and Famine. Kenny now finally has his second land drop on turn, what is it, 11?
It's pretty late. Definitely late for a second land drop.
Not looking good for Kenny. Kenny now, again, has his second land drop, but lost all his dudes now, you know. Has no guys. Now, what is in his hand? What could be in his...
idea.
Yeah. I mean, if you didn't have lands, you had spells, right?
Divine Offering?
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a Divine Offering. That would make sense.
About the only thing that I can think makes any sense whatsoever right now. Kenny says, "Oh man, still so dead." And an Emiria Angel from Javier. I think the difference in this game is Javier's casting spells.
Yes. Whereas Kenny didn't find his second land until very late in the game.
This is not good.
So, if Kenny does not have the Divine Offering in hand, at this point, he's just trolling.
Yeah, I wonder. There's Phyrexian Metamorph hitting the yard from that Feast and Famine trigger.
There's no way all of his cards cost more than 2. I refuse to believe this.
Why would he have kept a 1-land, 1/1 drop? Yeah, there's a Dismember for the Emiria Angel, which tried to pick up a sword. So Kenny able to cast a spell. Impressive.
All right.
Javier just passes back. All right, Kenny, what do you got?
Let's see.
Land.
Whoa, goes all the way up to 12.
Does Phyrexian Metamorph copying Batterskull help at all? No, that's Suture Priest. Go for the throat on your Suture Priest.
Now, had he discarded something besides the Metamorph, there he could have played the Metamorph.
That's what I was thinking. Like why did he discard? I mean, I guess he figured he can't count on having that third land. And there's a Mortar Pod.
But I mean, it's like your only chance, right?
Yeah, I think like.
I mean, he basically didn't really have a chance, so it's fine.
He's got 4 lands now, and
Yep.
plays a Suture Priest and extends the hand. Says, I can play a spell. I'm not ending this game with nothing on the board.
That's a shame. Good
Yeah,
run
is.
by Kenneth Joa.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice Soul Sisters deck.
I would have liked to see a little more action there, yeah.
Now Javier, pretty cool story, playing
Absolutely.
a black-white aggressive deck. And,
Yeah,
you know,
black-white Callblade, really.
yeah, like a black-white Callblade deck, just Callblade with no Jace and no cause, so...
Yeah, I guess it's just black-white Blade.
Yeah.
You know, it's
And
Blade.
he's-
Blade, is
He's
that
at
make more
X11 now.